What drives a person to commit acts of such evil that their name becomes a byword for treachery and wickedness? The Bible, a text revered by millions, not only recounts stories of righteousness, but also exposes the darker side of human nature. Among its pages, certain women stand out, not for their virtue, but for their actions that had devastating and far-reaching consequences. These stories are not just ancient tales. They are powerful narratives that echo through time, reminding us of the dangers of unchecked ambition, deceit, and vengeance. In the next few minutes, we will uncover the stories of three women whose legacies are marked by cruelty, manipulation, and betrayal. They are Jezebel, Delilah, and Herodias, names that have become synonymous with the worst traits of humanity. Imagine a queen so ruthless that she would stop at nothing to achieve her goals, even if it meant leading an entire nation into idolatry and bloodshed. This is the story of Jezebel, whose influence over King Ahab of Israel not only corrupted him, but also led to a period of profound spiritual and moral decay in Israel. Jezebel's tale is one of power wielded without conscience, resulting in a fate as brutal as the life she led. Next, consider the story of Delilah, the woman who brought down Samson, one of Israel's greatest warriors. Through charm and deceit, she extracted the secret of his strength, leading to his downfall and ultimate capture by the Philistines. Delilah's actions remind us of the catastrophic power of betrayal, especially when driven by personal gain. Finally, there is Herodias, a figure whose quest for revenge led to the death of one of the most revered prophets in the Bible, John the Baptist. Her cunning and cold-blooded use of her daughter to achieve her vengeful goal reveal a level of moral corruption that shocks even to this day. As you watch, take a moment to subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening content. These stories, though from a distant past, hold lessons that are relevant even now. They warn us of the consequences of letting evil take root in our lives and show us the devastating impact one person's actions can have on those around them. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the lives and legacies of these three women, whose stories serve as both a warning and a reminder of the timeless struggle between good and evil. 1. Jezebel, the queen who became a symbol of wickedness. What happens when a queen wields power with no regard for morality or the lives of those she rules? Jezebel, perhaps the most infamous woman in the Bible, answers this question with chilling clarity. As the wife of King Ahab, she wasn't just a queen. She was the driving force behind one of the darkest chapters in Israel's history. Her story is a potent mix of ambition, manipulation, and cruelty, making her name a byword for evil even today. Jezebel didn't come from a background of humility or reverence for the God of Israel. She was the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and brought with her the worship of Baal, a pagan deity. But what happens when a nation's leader turns away from God and embraces idolatry? Under Jezebel's influence, Israel didn't just tolerate Baal worship, it became a central part of its religious life. She established temples for Baal and actively promoted this worship, turning the hearts of the people away from the God of their ancestors. Jezebel's true nature, however, is most vividly displayed in the story of Naboth's vineyard. What lengths would someone go to satisfy their desire for more power? King Ahab coveted a vineyard belonging to Naboth, a righteous man who refused to sell his ancestral land. In a twisted display of cunning, Jezebel hatched a plot that would lead to Naboth's unjust execution. She forged letters in Ahab's name, accusing Naboth of blasphemy, and had him stoned to death. With Naboth out of the way, Ahab was free to seize the vineyard. This was more than just a land grab. It was a calculated act of cruelty that showcased Jezebel's utter disregard for human life. But does such wickedness go unpunished? The Bible tells us that Jezebel's end was as gruesome as her deeds. The prophet Elijah foretold her downfall, declaring that she would be devoured by dogs, a prophecy that was chillingly fulfilled. Jezebel met her end when she was thrown from a window, trampled by horses and her body consumed by dogs. Her death was not just a consequence of her evil actions, but a symbolic end to her reign of terror. How did a queen who had everything end up being remembered as one of the most wicked figures in history? Jezebel's story is a stark reminder of the corrupting influence of power when combined with an unyielding desire for control. Her life serves as a powerful warning about the dangers of letting ambition and cruelty override moral principles. If you're finding this story as compelling as we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel. There are many more lessons to be learned from the pages of the Bible, stories that reveal the full spectrum of human nature, from the most virtuous to the most vile. Stay with us as we continue to uncover the lives of those whose names have been etched in history, not for their good deeds, but for the evil that consumed them. 2. Delilah, the betrayer who brought down a giant. What does it take to bring down a man of legendary strength and divine favor? The story of Delilah shows us that sometimes it's not physical power that proves most destructive, but the quiet, insidious force of betrayal. Delilah is one of the most notorious figures in the Bible, remembered not for physical prowess or royal status, but for her ability to exploit the trust of one of Israel's greatest heroes, Samson. Who was Delilah, and how did she come to play such a pivotal role in one of the Bible's most tragic tales? Delilah was not an Israelite, but a woman from the valley of Sorek, a Philistine stronghold. Her relationship with Samson, one of the last judges of Israel, was built on deception from the start. Though often portrayed as a seductive figure, Delilah's true power lay in her cunning and willingness to betray Samson for personal gain. But what kind of person would betray someone who loves them? The Philistine rulers saw in Delilah an opportunity to defeat Samson, whose supernatural strength had made him an unstoppable force against them. They offered her a vast sum of silver to discover the secret of Samson's strength. How much is loyalty worth? For Delilah, the answer was clear. Her loyalty could be bought. Delilah's betrayal was not a sudden act but a calculated process. She repeatedly pressed Samson to reveal the source of his strength, each time weaving her lies deeper into his trust. Finally, after several failed attempts, Samson, worn down by her persistence, confessed that his strength lay in his uncut hair, a symbol of his Nazirite vow to God. What followed was one of the most famous acts of treachery in history. While Samson slept, Delilah had his hair cut, stripping him of his strength and handing him over to the Philistines. How could a man so strong be brought so low? Samson's downfall wasn't just about physical strength. It was about the vulnerability that comes with misplaced trust. Delilah's betrayal led to his capture, blindness, and eventual death in a Philistine temple. Her actions serve as a stark reminder that even the strongest individuals can be undone by deceit and treachery. But what became of Delilah? The Bible remains silent on her fate, leaving us to wonder what happened to the woman whose betrayal changed the course of history. Did she regret her actions, or did she live out her days with the silver she earned, indifferent to the pain she caused? Her story leaves us with questions that resonate through time. Delilah's name has since become synonymous with betrayal, a cautionary tale of how easily trust can be exploited and destroyed. Her story warns us that the most dangerous enemies are often those who appear closest to us. If this story has gripped you, remember to subscribe to our channel for more insights into the most intriguing and cautionary tales from the Bible. These stories continue to teach us about the complexities of human nature and the consequences of our actions. Stay tuned as we explore more characters from the Bible whose legacies are marked not by heroism, but by the darker choices they made. 3. Herodias, the queen who used her daughter to exact vengeance. What kind of grudge could drive a mother to orchestrate the death of one of the most revered prophets in history? Herodias, a figure infamous for her ruthless pursuit of revenge, answers this question with a tale of manipulation, bitterness, and cold-blooded calculation. Herodias' story is a chilling example of how far someone will go to silence their critics and satisfy their vendetta. Herodias was married to Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee and Perea. But this was no ordinary marriage. It was a union steeped in controversy and condemned by many, including John the Baptist. John had openly criticized Herodias' marriage to Herod because it violated Jewish law. She had previously been married to Herod's brother Philip. How does someone react when their sins are publicly denounced? For Herodias, the answer was simple: eliminate the source of the criticism. Herodias harbored a deep grudge against John the Baptist for his outspoken condemnation. But how could she get rid of a man so revered by the people? The answer came in the form of her daughter, Salome. During a grand banquet celebrating Herod's birthday, Salome danced before the guests, so mesmerizing Herod that he rashly promised to grant her any wish, up to half his kingdom. What would a young girl ask for in such a moment? In a shocking twist, Salome, coached by her mother, asked for the head of John the Baptist on a platter. This moment reveals the depths of Herodias' cruelty and cunning. Instead of directly confronting John, she used her daughter as a pawn in her deadly game. Herod, trapped by his own promise and likely fearing the backlash of breaking his word in front of his guests, reluctantly ordered John's execution. In one fell swoop, Herodias silenced her critic and solidified her place in history as one of the most ruthless women in the Bible. But was Herodias' victory worth the cost? The Bible doesn't tell us what became of her after John's death, but her actions have left an indelible stain on her legacy. Her willingness to use her own daughter to achieve her vengeful aims highlights a level of moral corruption that few figures in history can match. Herodias' story is a stark reminder of the destructive power of resentment and the lengths some will go to protect their pride. Her actions serve as a warning about the dangers of allowing anger and bitterness to take root in our hearts. If this tale has captured your attention, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. There are more stories like this, where human flaws lead to devastating consequences, offering lessons that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Stay with us as we continue to explore the lives of those whose actions have made them symbols of the darker side of human nature. What can we learn from the lives of Jezebel, Delilah, and Herodias? These stories from the Bible are more than just accounts of individual wickedness. They are powerful cautionary tales that continue to resonate across time. The actions of these women were not only devastating to those around them, but also left behind moral lessons that speak to the dangers of unchecked ambition, betrayal, and vengeance. Jezebel's ruthless pursuit of power led to her tragic downfall, serving as a reminder that evil deeds often come back to haunt those who commit them. Delilah's betrayal of Samson shows how trust can be weaponized, revealing the catastrophic effects of deceit. Herodias' manipulation and cold-blooded use of her daughter to achieve her vengeful goal highlight the corrosive nature of resentment and pride.